Welcome back, viewers and subscribers. In this video, yes, we're going to talk about a little bit about the political side because I find it to be pretty interesting, quite fascinating. And I know that when you talk about these things, it doesn't matter how good your delivery is. Many people, they're just not happy about it, especially for the people who, favorite side didn't get to win the election. I definitely understand. And I have no problem with anyone being butthurt. But let's talk about what we're here to talk about, shall we? Because we've been hearing a lot about this election and it's not that I honestly believe this year's US election, it is going to go down in history like none other. Like Donald Trump is going to be the first convicted felon to become president. Donald Trump is going to be the first person to become president of the United States the second time. And the list goes on. So definitely it has already gone down in history. However, Kamala Harris is the focus of this video. I've been trying to find some stuff, to talk about Kamala Harris. And I'm looking for the good, positive stuff, because even though she has lost the election, I don't believe in, raining on her parade like that, like, ooh, why did you lose? No, I'm definitely not that kind of person. But what is now being said is that she forked out a pretty penny paying a lot of celebrities, and irrespective of these pretty pennies that she paid, she has still lost the election. Well, if I was Kamala, I would like Meg, I want my money back. Eminem, I want my money back. Give me back my money. That's what I would be doing. I kid you not. Because how do you pay these people and you still lose the election? And that's the thing. You see, when it comes to the gimmicks, we're here for it. We know when it's time to play. We know when it's time to be serious. And I believe that this is going to be a new, day that has been born because celebrities are no longer influential. And as such, I believe that celebrities are now going back to the drawing board and saying, how can I, rebrand myself to be more impactful, more influential? And you know who could have given Kamala Harris the endorsement that she needed? Kanye West. He's the only celebrity. Well, let me back up a bit. One of the only celebrity. But we know that if Ye should have stepped out there, he would have represented Donald Trump because Ye believes and he has been lobbying for most of what Trump stands for. Ye has been lobbying for the ban on abortion. He has also been, that individual who believes that, no child should be getting gender reaffirming surgery because he believes that the things that are put in front of kids, basically, it's like brainwashing them already. So as such, we know automatically his representation would have been for Donald Trump. Anything that looks like it caters to the woman, protects women, that is what Ye always represents. No, I've seen the discussion about, Donald Trump won the election because of white supremacy. They realized that, white people was becoming the minority. And as such, that is why Donald Trump won the election. And that is why, Donald Trump agreed to the vote on Roe versus Wade. And I'm like, that's just the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Coming from a journalist at that, because let's think about that from a realistic point of view. It's not as though Roe v. versus Wade, is something that they have on, let's say, white people. Let's say, they're saying it's white people who cannot have abortion, but black people can. It's not as though it's something like that. And if you look at what, if you truly understood or have any understanding as to what was going on with abortion. Think about it. Black women were literally being funded to take abortions. So the only population that was losing before Roe v. versus Wade was the black community. Now, saying that, to say this, I do believe that Roe v. versus Wade is something that should be re-examined, especially for the states that do not allow abortions. Because when you look at what is going on with kids, just imagine someone, at the age of 12, 13, getting assaulted by their father, their uncle, a predator, and that individual gets pregnant. They have to keep the child. Let's say someone has any. Do you know that Roe v. versus Wade does not even support you aborting your pregnancy if you have an ectopic pregnancy? For some states, not all, for some states. An ectopic pregnancy in itself, it's a killer, as we all know. So I do believe that Roe v. versus Wade needs to be examined, and I think it just needs a really good, decent overhaul. But I also believe that women should make better decisions. And, maybe when I was in my 20s, I was like, you know what? Life goes on, have an abortion. But at this age, I have to say no. Life just doesn't go on, have an abortion. There's so many women out there struggling to have a child, and you can actually do open-end adoption, agree to a couple adopting your child, and you getting to see your child maybe once each month on a weekend, So there's so many options, and I believe that as women, we need to make better choices with our spiritual grounds. Our bodies, that's a spiritual ground. And we should not just be allowing any pesky creatures to be, coming into our spiritual field like that. And when you look at what these celebrities promotes, this is what these celebrity promotes, getting drunk, getting wild, switching from lane to lane when it comes to men or when it comes to women. So when you look, there's a breakdown in, how women respect themselves. And what happens in the United States is that whenever America starts something, you best believe it's like a cold. It's like a flu. Jamaica will have that flu. Barbados will have that flu. Australia will have that flu. And, it creates a ripple effect. So when you notice a breakdown in the culture, I believe that it needs to be addressed. I do believe that something needs to be done about it. I don't like Roe v. versus Wade because of, the endangerment of women and children's lives. But I do believe in monitoring abortion policies and having strict policies in place, but not like the current one that exists. Something better, something more modern, something that really caters to the health and welfare of women while protecting the unborn at the same time. So I do hope that it makes sense to you all. But I'm just seeing so many videos about how much Kamala Harris had to pay these different celebrities. And irrespective of all that pretty penny, she has still lost the election. So I'm just saying, if I was Kamala, they would have to give me back my money. And I mean, I really think it is really horrible of celebrities, especially, for those celebrities who have been doing well and, is just asking to be paid. I understand if they asked for a certain amount, to be paid to their team, to their backup dancers and all of that. But I do believe in civil duty, especially when you can afford to volunteer your service. It doesn't matter which side of the political fence you're on. That's just my belief. Hope it makes sense. And that's all I have to say about that for this video. Let me know your thoughts and see you guys later. Bye guys.